Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome back to another experiment. This is kind of part 2 of the experiment. Part 1 is in the description where we talk you through the league positions, the average league positions over doing the same season, running it 100 times and seeing where everybody ends up. So make sure you go and watch that first. Link is in the top line of the description, and then come back to this one because it's going to link in very much so to the previous one. So here we are. As you can see over there, we've got the FM18 results. So just to give you a quick recap, what we did at the end of FM18, we updated all the squads with the latest transfer updates. So all the summer transfers are in and all that sort of good stuff. And then we did the experiment with the sort of idea that when FM19 comes out, I'm going to run the same experiment because they're exactly the same squads. Like I said, all the summer transfers have been done to see which teams and which players have been changed, upgraded, downgraded, etc. Maybe some of them are getting a bit old, or some of them, these young players are developing. Also, see what differences the AI makes to the thing. Like, as you can see here, what happened last year, pretty much most of the big boys, the top sort of 6, 7, are all out-and-out strikers, what you'd consider an out-and-out striker. And so like the likes of Mo Salah and stuff, and these attacking wingers didn't really overperform, score a bunch of goals. And I wanted to see how Sports Interactive were going to change the game, maybe to have these, as we see in real life, a lot of these wide players, inside forwards, wingers and stuff are getting a lot more goals. So without further ado, let's get into it with 20th position. Last year it was Bournemouth's Callum Wilson. This year it's Daley Blind with Tottenham, 9.87. Pretty much the same as he got last year. I think he's a very good youngster. I don't think there's going to be any sort of dramatic changes to his attributes. He scored a little bit more. I think maybe that could be just he's a year older, so he's improving. In number 19, in 19th, if you will, it's Marko Arnautovic for West Ham, 9.90 games. Remember, this is average goals over a season. So, although you might not see a 30, 40 goal season in this experiment, that's because those are usually one-off seasons, plus every player has gone through 1 or 2 seasons where they've had big, long injuries, etc. So their averages are going to be taken down. So if you can score 10 a season, on average, over the course of 100 seasons, like that is pretty damn good. And Arnautovic is really good in real life, and he's shown it in the game. In number 18, we have Leroy Sané, another new name to the list. So maybe, on the looks of it, maybe these not so much strikers, but more wingers or inside forwards or whatever you want to call them, are actually better this year. We'll find out as we go along. But Leroy Sané, almost 10. He didn't win top goal scorer, sadly, but that's fine. I'm sure he's got a lovely afro, so lovely. In at number 17, we have Alexander Mitrovic. I can't do his accent, so I'm just going to standard Russian. 10.22. Quite surprising for me. I don't rate him. I think he's a good championship goal striker in real life. He started off the season well, then had a big drought, didn't he? But he scored recently. 10.22 though. The game rates him, and he's an out-and-out striker, so that's interesting. In at number 16, we have somebody that's already made the list last year, and it's Yarmolenko for West Ham. This guy, another sort of wingery type player, he can play up front, so maybe the game is playing up front. 10.33, which is just a slight downgrade. That could be for various reasons. That's close enough to be basically the same player. I don't think he's got upgraded or downgraded. Right, but in the number 15, he's having a party. It's Troy no, it's Jamie Vardy. I twisted it there. I twisted it. It's Jamie Vardy. Where was he last time? Didn't even make the list. Didn't even make the list last time. There was a bunch of players, to be fair, on that list that had about 8 goals on average a season. But Jamie Vardy with 10.6, so that is a massive jump for him. I had to go look at my old data from last year to make sure I didn't make a weird mistake. I was surprised that Jamie Vardy wasn't in it. But this year's good to see him. 10.6, I think he'll take that. In at number 14, we have the Chelsea flop, Alvaro Morata, the guy that looks like he doesn't really give a shit when he's playing football, but a very good player. I just don't think he's all there. Not all there, like he's not mental. I just don't think he's got that passion and drive. 10.62, which is a little downgrade on last year. He might have got a small downgrade, to be fair, in the actual game. I don't think that's just randomness. But in at number 13, this is a little bit of a drop, boys. This is a big drop. And it won't be a surprise to Man United fans. He's king of the first touch, and that is Romelu Lukaku with 10.88. He did manage to win top goal scorer once, but as you can see, that's almost a 4-point downgrade on last year, which 4 goals, downgrade. On average a season, 4 goals less. And from the looks of him this season, probably correct, I think. I'm trying not to have a go at Man United fans. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. It could be a Mourinho thing or the way the team's playing or whatever, but he just hasn't looked the player that he was before. But in at number 12, we got another new name on the list. Bournemouth, he did play for Bournemouth. Bournemouth, Southampton and Liverpool reject. It's Danny Ings. He did play for Southampton before he went back to Southampton, didn't he? Yeah, because we bought him off Southampton because they're our B team. That makes sense, yeah. Danny Ings, 10.91. Good to see him doing so well. I still rate him. I kind of wish Liverpool have kept him. Got top goal scorer once as well. Really pleased for the guy. Obviously, I reckon he would have scored 20 goals, but probably half the seasons at the 100, his leg fell off. So, very good for Danny Ings, 10.91. I think one of the problem, when you do one season 100 times, if you are really injury prone, talking to you, Daniel Sturridge, there must be at least 10 seasons where he has serious injuries and maybe another 20 where he has a lot of, a month, 2 months injuries. So those sort of injury-prone players really struggle to get on the list. But in at number 11, we have the first Liverpool player, and that is Sadio Mane, 11.05. Did he make the list? No, he didn't make the list last year. He was just off the list. He was pretty consistent, but never banging in the goals. But another wide player that's getting more goals. Interesting. In at number 10, this is the most steady player you're likely to see in the game. It's Troy Deeney, who also finished number 10 last year. He's lost a goal. I don't think he's been downgraded as such, but I think that's probably due to just him getting a bit older. In at number 9, we have Man City reject Alexis Sanchez, because he's not a reject, he's a money grabber and went to Man United. But 11 points. God, I'm surprised you Man United fans watch me. I'm sorry, I'll stop making Man United jokes. 11.62 goals, and was he even on the list last year? But it's another player that's... Oh, there he is. So he's 12.98 last season. So pretty similar, little downgrade. Probably correct. He's not the youngest player, is he? So that makes sense. But in at number 8... we have... I'm just trying to see if he was on last year's list. It's like I can't see. Oh, he was on last year's list. Blind as a bat. And has been upgraded. It's Eden Hazard for Chelsea. 13.88. So he's got himself another goal. He's just an absolute beast, isn't he? We all know he's just an absolute monster of a player. Just gets better with age, like a fine cheese. I was going to say fine wine, but that's so overdone. I went with a fine cheese. Just deal with it. What more can you say about Eden Hazard? He's really good at football. Okay, in at number 7. This is an interesting one. It's a Liverpool player. It's Mo Salah. Now, it doesn't look, 7th, the way Mo Salah scores goals. But compared to last season with 12.16, he was down in 11th spot. And he's got 14.8. I think he has got a small upgrade. He was already really good in FM18, but I think he's probably got a small upgrade. Plus, I think the game has changed slightly. I think the way the AI works and the game mechanics work, as we're seeing, there's a lot of these players that aren't out-and-out strikers scoring more goals. So it could be a combination of the two, or just that he's improved as a player. Now, in at number 6, this is an interesting one, because this is one of the biggest jumps we've seen, I think it is so far, and that is, he was number 20 last year, now he's number 6, Callum Wilson for Bournemouth, 14.81, top goal scorer 3 times, which is a massive jump of almost over 6 points, 6.5 points. He's going to be upgraded, I think. I don't think there's any way around it. It could, and also, but I think the Bournemouth team in general has probably been upgraded a little bit. Therefore, the wingers are getting better supply to him and all that sort of stuff. He was already a really quality finisher in FM18. I'm surprised it's actually that low in FM18. But as he's doing bits for Bournemouth. But I think Bournemouth overall have improved, the Sports Interactive have improved Bournemouth, so that kind of goes along with it. He's leading the line. Josh King was just missed out. He was about 23rd on the list, because I do all the players, so so much data input. So as you can see, he's doing absolute bits. Now, in at number 5, we're in the top 5, and it's the surprise package from last year, the massive surprise package from last year. He finished 4th last year. It's Chris Wood for Burnley, and he's 5th this year, but he's almost got identical. They haven't changed him at all. He's just an absolute goal-scoring monster. Burnley are a decent side, as we saw in the league results. They're a sort of top 8-ish side. But for Chris Wood, over the course of 100 seasons in FM18 and 100 seasons in FM19s, he's still banging in 15 goals a season on average. Is ridiculous. If you can pick him up in the game, go for it. Okay, so in at number 4, last year he was number 6. It's Bobby Firmino, 15.85. Decent upgrade, almost 2 goals, 15 times top goal scorer. A little bit of a gap, an entire goal ahead of Chris Wood, which is quite big in the terms of averages. Good to see Bobby Firmino. I think he was already very good. He might have had a small upgrade, but also I think Liverpool have been upgraded, so that already helps him. But in at number 3, he was 3rd last year. He's 3rd this year. He's almost identical. He even won the top goal scorer exactly the same amount of times, and that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for Arsenal, 16.48. Just an absolutely rapid, solid striker. You can't go wrong. Lacazette would be in this list again. We talked about this last experiment. I'll also link that if you want to go watch it, because I think they're interesting videos. Arsenal always seem to play with one up top, and Lacazette is the number 2 choice, and Lacazette does really well for the amount of goals he scores, for the amount of game time he gets, but he's more than often than not just a super sub, and Aubameyang's the starter, which I kind of suppose we're seeing a lot in real life as well. But Mr. Solid Aubameyang doing bits. Now we're down to the final 2. Last year, Harry Kane was top, Sergio Aguero was 2nd, way behind Harry Kane, over 2 goals. I will tell you that it is the same 2 players, but in 2nd place, it's Harry Kane. Surprisingly, I would say. I think Harry Kane is coming into his prime age, where Sergio Aguero is maybe, he's still brilliant, don't get me wrong, but Harry Kane is on 18.15 goals, which is a drop of 1 goal. It could be that the Tottenham team has not progressed that much, as Tottenham fans will tell you. I mean, in terms of transfers and stuff. But this could be just one of those little freaky bits. It could be that other teams have improved and Tottenham have stayed the same, as we saw in the league table. They're kind of 4th, 5th all the time. They're solid, if unspectacular. But number 1, the little man himself, Aguero! It's Sergio Aguero with 18.81, which is almost 2 goals up on last year. 24 times top goal scorer. I think the biggest reason, I very much doubt Sports Interactive have improved Sergio Aguero. I think, he's already a world-class player. He's a year older. I don't think he would have improved, but as you saw, if you've watched the league video, Man City, I think most of their players have improved slightly. Sané's a year older, Raheem Sterling's a year older, a bunch of their young players, Phil Foden's coming through more, and all that sort of stuff, which is then going to eventually lead up to more goals, and Aguero still banging them in. So he is the champion this year, taking over the crown from Harry Kane. I'll give one little honourable mention, and that is to Giroud for Chelsea, the big target man. And that is because he was, I think, finished 22nd, but he never started games. Morata was the starter, but Giroud was banging in an absolute ton of goals. If he was a team that played him, he would have easily made this list, probably sort of top 5, top 10 at least. So a little honourable mention to Giroud there. Right, there we go, my friends. Please do leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. I put a lot of work into these videos, so if you could see your way of sharing it with your friends and stuff like that on Twitter or whatnot, that would be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Go check out my other series. We've got the Stanley Parable, which is a really fun Director of Football challenge going on. We've also got the Journeyman that's coming soon, and also a Fort William save that's coming very, very soon in the next few days. So come check out all the videos. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.